The Dragon Ball community has always had an endless imagination for storytelling. They've found ways to spin entirely new universes just by twisting one or two minor details. Whether it's Raditz taking a completely different path in life or Goten becoming an interdimensional horror beyond human comprehension, if you can dream it, there's a story for it. And Sparking Zero has given the community the ultimate tool to bring those wild ideas to life. If you're new here, this is our weekly Custom Battle Showcase, a series where we dive into the community's custom what-ifs to shine a spotlight on some incredible overlooked narratives. So sit back, grab a snack, and let's dive straight into these. We find ourselves on a familiar landscape, the wastelands of Earth prior to Goku returning home from the clash on Namek. Frieza and his father have arrived on the planet only to be met with the foe who had just taken out their men within moments. But the warrior you're thinking of isn't the same one that stands before them. The swordsman of the future has not yet set foot on this timeline's soil. Instead, the Princess Saiyan stands alone before them. Frieza laughs him off, assuming Vegeta's just eager to be killed. But the prince is full of pride, acting like his usual cocky self as he starts to boast about how long he's waited for this exact day. King Cold isn't impressed in the slightest and tells Frieza to deal with him already. But much to the disarray of both Cold clan members, the prince is different now. He's been training every single day since he got to Earth, trying to reach the grander heights that he knows he can claim. He finally shows them why they should fear him. The prince transforms, and the only words Cold can mutter are the legendary Super Saiyan. Frieza's terrified. Not only did the low-class warrior take this form on Namek, but now the prince as well. In a rage, he takes to the sky to launch the Death Ball to destroy Vegeta and the planet, but the attack does nothing. This sends us into the first fight, but it's not too long before Vegeta uses this new strength to beat Frieza into the ground before disintegrating him with the Big Bang attack.
Feast your eyes on Super Vegeta's Big Bang attack!
Is that the best you can do?
Finally getting his revenge for all the years he had spent serving under him. Vegeta stands victorious in this wasteland, and Cold is terrified that anyone could be so strong. Vegeta offers him a position at his side if he bows to the Prince of Saiyans. Absolutely disgusted by such a heinous option, Cold rushes at Vegeta, only to be met with the exact same fate as his son. Now Goku has landed minutes prior. He's been watching Vegeta take both foes head on without breaking a sweat. Finally, he makes himself be known to everyone. He congratulates Vegeta on becoming a Super Saiyan as well. We get some banter between the two before Vegeta demands a rematch with Goku. Now that he's back on Earth, he's been waiting long enough and wants to settle that score today. Goku is happy to take this battle on. The two appear to be even at first, but it becomes clear very quickly that Vegeta has been pushed to even greater heights through his intense training. Goku starts to lose his footing, eventually being overcome by the elite warrior. The prince walks over to a defeated Goku, readying a final blast to eradicate him, but it suddenly dawns on him that he's only got this strong because he was chasing this low-class Saiyan. He decides to leave Goku alive, and he tells him that from now on they'll train together. Goku will surpass him every time until the prince breaks through another barrier to overcome that next goal. This is a fun route to take these characters. It speeds up a part of Vegeta's growth that he had over the course of the series into that single year that Goku was gone, but it does it in a way that makes sense for the character. By defeating Frieza, the only person left in his path is Goku, and after seeing how far Goku grew from Earth to Namek and how fast he grew himself, it only makes sense that he would use Goku in his own pursuit of power. This story does have some alternative routes as well. If you can't beat Frieza in time, Goku will jump into the battle to take over for Vegeta, eventually taking out Frieza and King Cold before the two have their own battle. There's another route where Goku still comes out on top during their final face-off, only fueling Vegeta's pride to train even more intensely. Now we know what's to come in this timeline, but both Goku and Vegeta being leagues stronger than they were in the official story would make the android arc fly by in favor of Earth's heroes. We find ourselves in the middle of a massive clash in hell. The mountains are crumbling as Vegeta in his Super Saiyan 3 form faces off against the demon Janemba. In this reality, Vegeta was the one sent to deal with the monster, but the departure from the movie only widens more as we see he's not actually dead. King Yemma must have asked for help following the eradication of Majin Buu. Vegeta is struggling against the demon's magic abilities and is starting to gas out, but he isn't alone for too long. During the match, Goku finds his way down to help his rival. He tags into the fight, first battling as a Super Saiyan 2 for a while until he realizes he needs to bump it up to 3 just to get remotely close to the power that Janemba possesses. The tremendous energy from Janemba drags everything out of Goku until Vegeta gets back on his feet and jumps into Super Saiyan 2 to avoid draining any more of his own ki. The two Saiyans do their best, tagging in and out of the fight to keep the pressure onto Janemba, but it just isn't working. The demon is regenerating far too quickly and both Saiyans are starting to run on fumes. Now backed into a corner, Goku offers Vegeta a different route. He shows him a pair of Patara earrings, the only thing that they could possibly use to even this match up. Vegeta's disgusted, not wanting to merge bodies again, but realizing that refusal only means destruction of his home and family, he obliges. And once more, Vegeta is born. He can clearly win in his base form, but he starts to show off and transform into a Super Saiyan, trying to get some fun out of the fight before finally locking in on Janemba and ending the monster with the final Kamehameha. The fusion wears off shortly after, and the two warriors sit in relief until Goku picks on Vegeta for finally being able to tap into Super Saiyan 3, with Vegeta responding by calling his new form Ultra Vegeta 1. Goku laughs this off, but before we fade off, we see the two Saiyans get up off the ground, using their remaining power to prove who's the stronger Super Saiyan 3. Sometimes flipping some small events around on a familiar story is enough to get a fresh take and a whole different outcome. Ending on both of the Saiyans wanting a fight feels like an ending that could occur in a movie. And speaking of movies, we talk about villains getting recontextualized all the time on this channel. With just a few more events added to this, you could potentially make a Fusion Reborn movie set in the Daima timeline. If anyone wants to try their hands on that one, the idea is on the board. Many years ago on planet Sadala, we find a young Saiyan warrior sleeping under the planet's sky. He only wakes up as a shift in the air begins to warp around him, changing the scenery as he falls into a new realm altogether. He's placed on a new planet, and standing in front of him is a man who hasn't said a word, dressed in orange and blue with a crimson red hair and aura. The man takes a fighting stance, and the Saiyan knows exactly how to respond. Shallot, the ancient Saiyan, is now fighting an immovable wall. No matter what he does, he isn't getting anywhere in this fight. When you originally start up the fight, your moves are locked and only unlock through each phase one by one as Shallot begins to loosen up and unleash them on the warrior. Through these cutscenes, it looks like the two could be comparable. It quickly becomes more apparent that Shallot isn't getting anywhere. He demands the Saiyan use his full power, and the two have a final clash where Goku's true power finally starts to show. Seeing the red hair and God Ki at its full potential, Shallot begins to question who he really is facing here. As he sits in awe of this power, he's left with some haunting words, as if Goku knows him already. Before he wakes back up on planet Sadala, his twin brother Gible notices something isn't right and asks what's going on with him, but even the ancient Saiyan can't describe what he just saw. He simply asks for a sparring match as we fade off on screen. The story acts as a prelude to the Dragon Ball Legends story, and it's one of the few Shallot matches that uses him in a new way. I don't really come across many stories on this game mode that utilizes this character at all, and it intrigued me to finally jump into the game's story mode to figure out more about his lore. It's a simple story with a unique way of showing progress as you slowly begin to unlock more super attacks while Shallot warms up, which might be my favorite takeaway from this match. I love storytelling through gameplay and game environments, as I said countless times on this channel, and it was done here in a very Dragon Ball-esque way. Future Trunks has saved the world from Deborah and Babidi, but watching the events of the Demon King's demise from afar is Aransu, the witch from the Demon Realm. Following Deborah's death, Goma has now been promoted to King of the Demon Realm, and he uses Glorio, a young demon drifter, to leverage Trunks' power to collect the Dragon Balls for him, enticing the Saiyan with the idea of reviving his fallen friends. The story follows the same path as Daima's, with the now adult Trunks making quick work of the foes in the Demon Realm. Eventually, we come across the same battle that Goku faced. Glorio wishes to test Trunks, but since the Saiyan isn't handicapped in a child's body, he doesn't allow Glorio even the chance to land a hit on him. And it isn't long before Glorio tries to use his magic, but Trunks brushes it off, showing both Glorio and Pansy the Super Saiyan form, and finally knocking Glorio out with that power. It's here when the three of them sit by a campfire after their friendly sparring that Trunks tells them of the world he's lived in. Glorio comes to realize that they both have more in common than he originally thought. We jump forward into the first Demon Realm. Trunks has successfully gathered 2 of the 3 Demon Realm Dragon Balls and is now face to face with the holders of the last one he needs, Majin Ku and Majin Buu. Given that Buu was never created in this timeline, it's safe to say these creations are using the residue left behind when Trunks blew up the egg, making them much weaker than the original. Despite that, they still give Trunks some trouble, as Buu proves to be the first real challenge he's faced the entire time in this realm, but their match is short-lived. Goma has imbued himself with the third eye and has entered the battleground ready to erase everyone standing in his way. This leads us into the final battle. Trunks attempts to start the fight, but he soon realizes that Goma isn't taking any damage and is matching his own power level, shocking Trunks that someone has existed out there like this. Glorio and Buu tell them to step aside as they try their hands at Goma, but in a few short moments they are both knocked down by the King's magic. With nobody left in the match, Trunks tries one more time to attack the Demon King, but to no avail, and is launched into the debris. While fading out of consciousness, Neva the Namekian grants him a boost of power, and the warrior stands back up in his rage form. Trunks now holds the upper hand, and this newfound energy only angers Goma into using the eye to its fullest extent. Elsewhere on the field, it's shown that Glorio was only pretending to be unconscious, and has taken the third Dragon Ball for himself, stopping the battle between Trunks and Goma as they witness the massive dragon in the sky. Aransu pressures Glorio to use his wish on her so she can become the Demon Realm ruler, but he hesitates. He remembers the journey he's had and how Trunks is so similar to him. They are both people trying their hardest to do better for their worlds. Remembering the stories he was told by Trunks, he uses that wish on a very surprising request before the Dragon Balls scatter and the sky returns to its usual red tint. Goma is infuriated and begins to charge a beam to blow Aransu and Glorio away, but at the last second, he's kicked directly into a crumbling castle. In the middle of the field, Gohan has returned. No recap is needed just yet. He's just amazed at how strong Trunks has become. The two attack Goma simultaneously while the others figure out a way to defeat him. It isn't long before Majin Ku realizes the only way to do this is to knock Goma upside the head 3 times so that the third eye will find its way out. And in the middle of the two Saiyans fending Goma off, Ku successfully gets those hits in. The story closes with Gohan and Trunks returning home, leaving the Demon Realm with a very promising future and a brand new king. This is a fantastic premise, a great story that only suffers because we don't have the other Daima characters like the Tamagami included. The first two could have easily been used as a way for Trunks' fight to represent his own growth from a fledgling fighter to the protector of his planet. The creator did what they could with limited resources, and I still applaud them for that. Outside of that, putting Trunks into situations he never got to experience would be fun to follow along. He's nothing like Goku or Vegeta, so the Daima journey likely would have been much quicker. It also would have been great to see how he met Neva. This is where we're going to stop for now. Thank you all for continuously supporting these creators and these videos. It's greatly appreciated. Next time I'm taking a look at what might be the first massive custom battle this game has seen, and one that's been recommended more times than I can count. What did you guys think of this week's stories? Leave your thoughts in the comments section down below, and hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with these battles. I've been your local overanalyzer, Artellings, and I hope you have yourself a damn good one.